Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.
What a great music, what a great music, eh? What a great music. Somebody already trying to come on the platform. Who is trying to come on? Let me see. Oh, Prince. Prince, I'll let you introduce yes, you. Come. Let me come in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each and every one of you. It's great. Let's see, Prince is trying to come on. It's great to partially, let me say, partially be back on your platform, in your car, your office. It's also it's always a pleasure to always sit with you guys here, especially talking about Liberia. That's my passion. That's my country. You know, people trying to shut me down. People sending me messages and in my own inbox or so. Not threatening messages, but you know, provocative messages also. But the only thing I can tell anybody is that I know the purpose that I'm here on the planet Earth, and I have discovered, and I also rediscovered myself. And because of that, after rediscovering myself, at this stage where I am, okay, if I want to do it, I will do it. If I want to say it, I will say it. The only thing, my choice of words is paramount. Whether I'm speaking to you face to face, whether I'm on the platform, so my choice of words. If I want to see you, I will find means for you to see you. If I want to say something that I can't, if I find other means that I can't get you face to face, I will still find means to reach you. So nothing. Forget about inboxing me, telling me what sort of thing or whatever. That is not going to, or coming under my post and saying things, you know, in a way that you want me to back up. Not me anymore. Not me. I'm not drawing back. As long as I'm using my platform to say the right thing, to challenge policies, especially in Liberia, it's not going to hold me back. I'm going to continue. Prince, good afternoon. It's a pleasure having you on. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Max. Welcome. Thank you for the privilege to be here on this uh, platform, and I want to thank you very much. And how are you feeling? How you come? How you doing?
I think gradually I'm getting there. Things are much better now. Yeah.
So you refuse to take the medical leave that we gave you, right?
Well, you know, when I went for the operation, after I came from the theater and I came to myself 6 hours after when I came to myself, and before the doctor could look, I had my iPad with me. And I was only strolling up and down and whatever. Then he told me, he said, Max, you need to rest. I said, but doc, I'm resting. He said, no, you have an iPad and you are on social media. You are not resting. You are working your brains, and you are even working the very hand that we're just coming from, operating on. So you need to rest. But then,
Yeah,
Prince, the
that's
question you
that's
asked,
what that's what
how would I
that's
rest
what
if Prince,
nationalists.
if Prince how would I rest if Prince happened to, see the ills in the society and he made a comment, and I'm on Facebook, I see that comment, it would move me. Or how would I rest if our president isn't resting, doing the reckless thing, doing those reckless things? How can I rest in the midst of unfairness, in the midst of dishonesty, where our leaders are leading such? How can anybody who wants to be an advocate rest? That's why, Prince, it's hard.
And that way I sympathize with you because that's what nationalism and patriotism would do to you. It will give you that burning desire to always want to be out there and fighting the cause. So I want to thank you. I want to say that is the symptom and the syndrome of nationalism and patriotism. Second and foremost, I did see on your page that you were expressing some grievance about the loss of a family member, I believe,
Yeah,
and I did responded to you and express my deepest sympathy and condolences. I would like
yeah,
to, in this public manner, also reinforce that I don't know if it was if you lost any close relative or family member. I'd like
yeah.
to
It's my
express my,
sister.
my deepest sympathies as well.
Yeah, one of my sisters.
Yeah,
Thank you. Appreciation.
you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah, Prince. There are a whole lot of things going on. Do you remember any time in 2012? Do you remember any time or recollection? Um, I have a proof of evidence. But do you remember any time in 2010 or in 2012 when President Weah, now President, Mr. Weah, told the American to move their mouth in our business?
Thank you very much. Uh, the people got a parable. They say the old man brain is bigger than the cotton tree, even if he's sitting down on the ground. The young man brain is like a mushroom, even if he's in the cotton tree.
Yeah,
What does that mean? It means that the old people remember things, and the young people easy to forget things.
yeah,
You are 100% right. That is evident to that effect. And and my brother, I want to say to you and the listening audience and to the Liberian people, I want to say to you people, directly to the Liberian people, void of the middleman. When I mean the middleman, those people who stand up to advocate and try and speak out, who spend to be leading the cause, what are the new as COP, what are the new as EFFL, what are the new any movement. I want to take away that middleman and reach directly to the people and say to the people, nobody will speak for you more than you can speak for yourself. Nobody will champion your cause unless you can champion your own cause. And nobody should decide your destiny for yourself unless you decide your own destiny. What do I mean by that? I'm discouraged And I'm heartbroken to see that at this particular critical time in our country history, and in the juncture in our nation, at the dispensation of our nation, that the people are willing to endure an undeserving pain and suffering because of some individual calculated desire of greed or calculated desire or to show no empathy to the people's well-being, but rather to promote themselves, their own agenda, and that the people are directly affected, and that small group of people are deciding that it is in their best interest to take the resources of the people and use it for their own self-aggrandizement. And the people are sitting down and they are waiting for someone to tell them to put their hand up and say, hold on, 1 minute, wait a minute, this is not supposed to be done this way, and that enough is enough.
You know, Prince.
And I'm speaking in direct reference to what is transpiring right now in our country. We have the Council of Patriots that came out and categorically stated that, first and foremost, they have given this government a petition of the people for 30 days time for the government to address that petition. And the government has failed to even respond or even give any sense of forum or dialogue.
Sure.
I know it blatantly and deliberately the petition and the voice of the people. And then, secondly, that at this particular junction, while economy is so difficult, that when you go to hospital, in order for you to be treated, you have to buy your own syringe or syringes. In order for you to be treated, you have to buy your own fuel and gasoline for the car to take you to a hospital. What paracetamol now is costing more than even a cup of rice or more than anything a daily meal. At this particular time, the government of Liberia is deciding to use $1.5 million of the Liberian people resources to celebrate an extravagant Independence Day, only for the promotion of the government or the president image and promote the president's self agenda and egotism. And that the Council of Patriots decided that they will protest that as well. They will protest, they will add the government disregard and insensitivity to the people's well-being. They will add it to the protest agenda, and they were going to protest all the way to the 26th, and not in any attempt and in any way to downplay or to diminish the importance of the Independence Day, but rather to call the government to say that we, the people, say that we don't want to spend $1 million to celebrate. We don't want to spend $500,000 to celebrate. What we want to do, we want to celebrate in a different way. We want to go out in the street and clean up. We want to go in the hospitals and provide basic needs for the people. We want to go to our police station and get the prisoner out and clean up and fix the condition in prison. That's what we want to do. That is how we want to memorialize our Independence Day. We don't want to invite leaders from around the world to come into our dirty cities. We want to clean up our cities. So since the government is not listening to us, we will tell the government that we are the people who give the government the power. We will come out and we will protest, just as it's done around the world, just as it's done in the United States, just as it's done in France, just as it's done in Russia. We will stand up and do that. And for us to, and sadly, for the United States Embassy, and through its ambassador, Christine Eller, to come out and tell the Liberian people that the constitutional is misplaced, their constitutional mandate is misplaced, and that the people choice to decide, the choice to stand up and freely assemble and petition the government should be decided it should be decided, and it should be convenient, and it should be appropriated by certain convenient to certain people. I was silent by that, and I thought the Council of Patriots would have sent a firm and strong message to the United States Ambassador Christine Eller, and tell Christine Eller, I say, Christine Eller, with all due respect, madam, we respect the American government, we respect what you people do for our country, we respect our traditional relationship, but here's the thing here, we want to say that your words of choice in your statement is misrepresentation of the true essence of democracy, even in the United States and also in Liberia. Our Constitution says in Article 17 that we are to assemble at all times. It doesn't specifically tell us at any time. And we are the people who have to make the choice for ourselves. If you feel that what is misplaced is that for John Weah to take $1 million of our money to use it as extravagantly celebrate and independent to invite people around the world to have a festivity and a party, that is misplaced. If you want to tell us to come to the table to negotiate, tell us in good terms and in respectable manner, and we will come to the table to negotiate. And we do want to come to the table and negotiate. So if you want to help our country, Mana Era, go to the government, tell the government that we're not refusing to celebrate July 26th, but we are not going to do it extravagantly when our people are dying in hospital, when our daughters are being raped, and the very police don't have the material, the police don't have the resources to investigate a simple rape and bring the perpetrator to justice. And while our death is going unsolved, murders are going unsolved. Matthew Innes died today, we don't know what killed him. The senator representative died today, we don't know what killed him. A journalist died in Liberia, we don't know what the case is. So if you think this, you guys, sorry about that. Somebody's calling me from Liberia. This government and disregards and insensitivity to the plight of the Liberian people, that is why it displaced. John, we are not answering our petition for the past 30 days. That is why it displaced. So don't come and tell us that we decided that to protest against our government using $1 million of our money to bring her friends, her girlfriends, and boyfriends from around the world so they can have a party and orgy and drink liquor. Don't tell us that is misplaced. That is not misplaced. It was not misplaced in the United States when the United States citizens went out and protested against Donald Trump. It was not misplaced. We didn't. Our embassy in Liberia did not read the American people and told the American people that it was misplaced. So my ambassador, please treat us with respect and with dignity. Don't treat us like your colonial power. We are not a colonial. You are not. You have no colonial. You are not. We are not your colony. Treat us with respect. Come to us and tell us that it is inexpedient and for us to have the protest to run into Independence Day, and the reason we are doing it is not for any political agenda. It's for economic agenda. It's for social welfare agenda that our government is using $1 million. If you want the government to celebrate July 26th, if you think you have the money to afford that bill, then let the American government give the government $1.5 million to celebrate July 26th, and we'll take our resources, we'll channel it to our people. Thank you, my ambassador. That is our call. We are open to negotiation. If you want to negotiate and mitigate between we and the government, we ask you to, in fact, we invite you to come and negotiate now, to be the negotiator. Go back to the government and tell the government that we don't want a $1 million July 26th celebration. We want our 26th to be celebrated in a way that will memorialize our present circumstances. So thank you, my ambassador. We appreciate you. We ask you to thank you for your involvement, but we ask you to change your tune in your statement because it does not represent the essence of democracy. And that is what I expected the Council of Patriots to say. But for them to come and succumb and issue a statement, I mean, it's so discouraging, it's disheartening. Because let me tell you here, Maxwell, protestation is not a romantic venture. It is not a convenient gesture. No. It is something that to send a strong message to the dictatorial government and to the defiant government, and to tell them that tell the government that you are disenchanted by the government action. That's what protests is about. Yeah. And protests are never scheduled. Protests are always staged. You don't schedule a protest, you stage a protest. Okay? So the idea to be scheduling a protest, okay, what happened with, we will not do the protest in August because August is Armed Forces Day celebration coming on. So there will be no August. No, there will be no need for celebration, to protest in August because Armed Forces Day is coming on. Okay, let's go to September. There will be no need for celebration in September because September that Decoration Day, October that Memorial Day, December that Christmas Day, January that New Year Day. We will find a day that is convenient for the government to protest against the government. Then it doesn't make sense. Then there's no need of protesting. Then let's go to a dialogue. That's my take, Maxwell, and I appreciate you, and I'll stand by for any further discussion or dialogue we can have on the issue.
Prince, you said it all. And this is why, for me personally, I don't just want to do the talking. I want to engage, and I've decided to write. For some of you who actually go on the internet,
that's why you see the government representative, Akara Gray, right after the Council of Patriot post or compromising a press statement, Akara Gray right on a Facebook wall, and he calling them now Council of Pekins.
yeah.
Can you imagine that? Council of Pekin. So is that how John Weah then said that in Jamaica Resort, and they discuss this thing with Akara Gray, they laugh at the people, and then they make this the mockery statement, and then Akara Gray come out and issue those statements. So is John Weah's statement now that Akara Gray is making truth in favor of John Weah. So John Weah is calling them Council of Pekins. So from today on, I consider them a Council of Pekin too as well.
You know, Prince, I've been trying my best, because the protest that took place, one or another individual that got involved. I printed T-shirts for our organization. That's personal from my pocket. Justice Forum Liberia, we printed T-shirts. I sent money back home, and they printed T-shirts to give to people free, because we thought that that particular protest was needed. That protest was wanted. And it was about time that people should give, that at least those who can make it, let them give the platform to those who want to, who perhaps long time ago they wanted to really speak, but they couldn't. Prince, you heard the market women, they even released a song. These people, they always want to say something. They always, perhaps they even want to meet their leaders, but they don't have that brave mind. That's why they put it into song. That the price of rice was not like this when Ellen Johnson was in power. The price of gasoline or kerosene was not like this. They were trying to send a message to the president and say, look, even though you are saying, and you and your people are saying that everything is okay, but no, everything is not okay. These women, these young girls, these young boys, the people you saw, the multitude of people you saw on that day, we all saw on that day, half or maybe more than half of those people voted for Mr. Weah. They came out. Some of them told why. I said, well, you know why? This thing is going the wrong way. I supported you yesterday. I thought you were going to be an angel. In fact, I thought you were an angel. And I decided to come to you for a shelter. Why are you disowning me right now? So at that particular moment, I myself, I was so happy. I said, look, I will join. I know from the beginning, I said, well, I'm not going to join the aid because of the way things were going or whatsoever. But last minute time, after some people called me and whatsoever, we decided to join. But Prince, I decided for this particular show where we are, I just want to, go along with what you said. I'm going to reserve my comment as far as the current position of the COP is concerned, because I am hurt. I am deeply hurt by virtue of the fact that the plan yesterday has failed. It's an insult, not only to them, that those guys that we put at the forefront, they say, well, your leaders, you can have the press conferences, you can be our mouthpiece to meet with whosoever wants to meet with us or whatsoever. But so look at the majority of us today, that what we want, they don't want. And what they want, that's what we should accept. It is very, very unfortunate. I agree with you about using that word. It is unfortunate. And I think
The thing, in everything you do, especially in these kind of complex things, you always want to listen. In diplomacy, in any diplomacy, the Christine Eller knows that very well, and she was taught. She knows that she was taught in her diplomatic course. In diplomacy, whenever you get into anything, any situation, always fight from your position of strength. When you fight from your position of strength, always be willing to what? To negotiate, to dialogue.
Yeah.
And then when you in dialogue, be willing to negotiate. That's what I tell you in diplomacy. And then finally, be willing to compromise. That is what it will tell you in any diplomatic courses and teaching. The Council of Patriarchs found a position of strength. They saw that John Weah is using the Liberian people money for his own agenda and his own extravagance. So they decided to use that occasion to create a situation, a scenario where John Weah will come to the table and negotiate or dialogue or compromise. So when the American ambassador got involved, she knew where she was coming from. She spoke from a position of strength because she feel that America, Liberian people scared anything America say because of law and gospel. So she spoke from a position of strength. As she had people, as the Council of Patriarchs had people like me on there talking and advising them, I will tell them too, you don't succumb to that. You too have a position of strength.
Definitely.
Your position of strength is that you have the people to stage the protest. You have the masses at your back, the winners on your back. So in order for you to come out with this thing and with good face, you speak for your position of strength too as well. Since the United States ambassador is now involved, you make her now the chief negotiator. Let her negotiate with you and the government so that the reason as to why your protest is going to go to July 26th is primarily because of the government insensitivity to the plight and the well-being of the people by wanting to use the people's national resource to the tune of $1.5 million to carry on an independent-based festivity or one-day festivity and celebration and have an orgy of liquor drinking or sexual orgy or immorality and bring people from around the world. Your position of strength is that, okay, here is your one if Christine Eller want to negotiate, let her tell the government that we are not against the celebration of the 26th. We are against the government using $1.5 million. If the government can change a decision to use the national resources on wasting it on one day extravaganza, we are willing to back up for protesting on that day because that's the reason we're protesting. If the government says, okay, we'll not use the money again, they will have no reason to protest. That is how you negotiate. And that's how negotiation works. Then there will be room for compromise. But you don't do it. As soon as the woman says this, hey, you know the American people are what traditional Allah, and whenever they say something, we gotta agree. Y'all know we are more stronger. Y'all know we are more wind on her wings. We are become more arrogant, and we are become more resistant. And at the end of the day, the American people will work with we are because they know we are is a government on the ground. Americans don't care about who they work with. Their interest, the only interest is the interest is national. They got special interest. They don't have special friends. So that's the mistake the Council of Patriarchs made. And Maxwell, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity. I will come back. My wife is here. Let me talk on certain things, and I will get back with you. Okay? Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you. Okay, that's the Prince there, our brother William Prince. I'm going to take you. A couple of people on the waiting list, but let me just take you to some of us that came up and told the ambassador that she leave us alone. We had a backlash. Me personally, huge backlash. People telling me that I don't have the right to say that. But in 2012, remember 2012, right? President Weah, the now president, his quest for the presidency was very, very high. And any mistake by a member of the diplomatic community represented in Liberia, but then issuing any kind of statement or press statement or whatsoever, perhaps being in favor of the power that be, it was not in favor of Mr. Weah. And remember, once upon a time, for those of you that perhaps the recollection is not there, that's why you keep pushing us. But remember vividly, somebody inboxed me, a newspaper as well from Liberia. That's why I tweeted. That's why I follow Donald Trump. And most of the times I retweet his tweets, and most of the times I respond to his tweets as well, like other people. That's what made me to send a tweet and attack President Donald Trump regarding this ambassador. But I'm going to take you to 2012. Is it? Let me see. Yeah. 2012. January 2012. And Women Voices. I'm going to show you the paper. What did he say today? What did Mr. Weah say to the British ambassador, to the American ambassador? This is Women Voices. This is the date. Why is the date? The date here. That's the date there. Wednesday, January. The year is 2012. Move your mouth from our business. We are Blast American ambassador. So for some of us who have decided to respond at a very early stage, man, the recollection came quickly. Done with that. Why? I personally, why? You can go on the front page Africa Now, the Observer Online, the Bush, the what's the paper name? All right, another newspaper. My letter to the president is published there because I used again a try over using the email address of the executive mansion. It's not working. It's dead. And so I decided to just turn it into an open letter to the president. And I cited my reasons as to why I would want him to abandon wasting any amount of money and calling presidents from across West Africa to come and celebrate. Celebrate what? And this is why yesterday I was in conversation with somebody from the top, somebody that can see President Kpakio at any moment. We're in the chat, we were chatting yesterday, and I just brought it to your attention. I say, my understanding is that President Kpakio will be going to Liberia for our Independence Day celebration. I said to you, quite frankly, do you agree that, or will you really given the fact that what we're going through right now is concerned, would you want to see Sierra Leone having an elaborate celebration? Had it not been the way you guys are handling Sierra Leone, that's worth celebrating because you have done remarkable things, would you have done something like that? And he said, well, personally, no. So I said, well, then you know why? The President Mandabio, traveling to Liberia for that celebration, we're not go down well with many of us. I think he should boycott it. And my brother told me, he said, well, I think you have a point. I'm quite, let me go on the line and take this call and I'll continue. Good morning, caller.
Hello?
Caller, good afternoon, how are you?
How you doing, Amos?
Oh, Amos, welcome, how are you, how you keeping?
Hanging in there, man.
All right, Amos, yeah, we're talking about this, Veterans thing. Some of us have challenged it that it shouldn't go ahead. We shouldn't spend. For me, I said I wrote the president and said that we shouldn't even spend up to $1,000 to have a celebration because we have nothing to celebrate. And then also the issue of the U.S. ambassador poking into or directing us or either trying to muscle us our human rights that we shouldn't have. Any form of protest also. I know you've been campaigning as well. You've been saying a lot of things that we've been reading as well. What is it that you want to continue to add on this particular platform?
Yeah, man. You know, I understand the frustration of most of that in the diaspora and where we're coming from. But there is something that has been happening in Liberia, and we are not yet been able to break that cycle. So at the end of the day, whatever we say here, if the people on the ground are not receptive to it, majority, it's difficult. And many, as this brother said, many all have said that there's no need to celebrate it. Some of them, like me, I suggest I say, go and have a rally at the JFK or redemption to raise funds. It's not spending money. But this is how the government has, the government, that's how they operate. They believe in this flamboyant thing, lavish party. Let me do that analysis. You want to impress a woman, you don't have the money, so this woman is coming to visit you, you invite her, so you go and take everything. Maybe even it costs you to go and pay, you do it. And this is what's happening. We all know the current economic situation of Liberia. The economy is in a shambles. We know it. So why invite the head of state knowing that you come to spend money that you don't have? Why? You have a budget shortfall. All that is spending. Right? And you come to spend even $1,000? No. It's really not worth it. Now, the July 26th is celebrating. Who are the people that are celebrating this day? It's the what I call the 1%. Because what the people in New Ruta, what would they get? The people in Canada, what would they get? The people in Slavery, what would they get? The people in Magiri, what would they get? The people in Bonkane, what would they get from the direction? So, when people say direction, what are we celebrating actually? What is there? At the particular point in time. And you know the argument they make last time on a program, they had this argument is always, oh, the past government did it. And I asked the panel, I said, so So are you saying, since the past government did it, you now will not change the status quo? And when you told the Liberian people that you were coming to change the status quo, so it means that things that will happen in the past will not happen on you. But now you people come back and start repeating the same thing. So then what was the need of people voting for you? So yeah, where we got. That's where we are now. And what the ambassador did,
yeah.
I strongly disagree with the ambassador because she undercut the entire effort. And I ask a question, is the ambassador taking into account the suffering of the Liberian people, or is it because a personal friend? Which one? Because I said, mind you, her statement that she made, every little Liberian now have gone with that statement. That yes, you see the American siding with the president that the U.S. nation should go. That's an ammunition that she has given George. We are going to use against those who want to protest. I said, remember, Smith told what he said the other day. If anybody gets the street, they will feel the weight of the law. Yesterday morning, Eugene Facon said the same thing. And when the American ambassador issued that statement, it's like you buttressing the statement that Eugene Facon have been making. You getting it? Come into the street. That's what she did yesterday. And she talk about posturing this and that. But it's the government that always have been posturing around here. And I asked the question, what has she said to the Weah government about the national reconciliation? She's talking about the patriotism. Can she tell me in America that July 4th, I should not demonstrate? Can Christine tell me that one? Or can she tell any American?
No way.
She can't do it. Or can, and I just went back to for the layman benefit. It has matched up a paragraph to from Liberia. Can you tell the American, do not demonstrate because July 4th is coming?
No way.
Will anybody listen to you?
No way.
No. But because the imperial and the colonial power, but they still have the fingerprint on us, and we have to be able to get out of that.
Mm.
The constitution of Nigeria that gives Nigeria every right at all times to assemble. This was a petition that government when they see that things are not going right. And she can know that to tell the Nigerian people this is a misplaced of intent.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that?
I tell you.
But, can you imagine that? And she went for to say, aggression of whatever demand was, because I don't have the letter, some demand. All the things that is over demanding. But Ms. Christine, your very government, audit, gave an audit. It did. And you saw that there are a whole lot of bad practices in the government. And you talk about unity. This government has not done anything.
Mm-hmm.
That their staff with the firm from the United States audit report, the government has not done anything. Look at the amount of women and children being raised in Liberia. What has the United States government done? The ambassador president to Liberia, what has he said? You are mute on this issue. And but then you come to talk about national unity. How can you tell us to reconcile or talk about national unity when every day when there are injustices against all of you who just express a view or disagree with president? Look at what happened with Honorable Yakaba recently. His family was immediately children stars at the airport. The embassy of Reverend Morales, did you issue any statement? Then what is the unity you're referring to?
All right, Amos. Well, let's hold you there. Let me take other calls. A lot of calls are coming in as well from the other end. Thank you so much, Amos.
Yeah. But Mike, I could say we will continue this fight. We will continue.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, now we're hearing for this and that, but we have to look at the political implication also. So we'll continue the fight. You actually say just one day, and after the one day, the fire will not go to state leaders. So I will be following the show.
All right, that's it. Thank you. All right, let me go on the dashboard. I think we have Benson here. Benson, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Max. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you, and thanks for asking. It's a pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you again. Yeah, I like to follow your show. I like the information. I like the discussion. Relative to COP second position on their comeback and altering of their decisions to put forward the protests based on the statement of the American embassy. Given that statement, when the statement came out, I took my time to read it, I think a couple of times. And I think that the position of the COP is a compromise or an ally position when it comes to the United States position, because that statement is the position of the United States government. Whether we like to think it that way or not, but it's when she made a statement, she didn't make the statement as Christian elder, she made a statement as the ambassador, which means she has already discussed the issue with state and they have come up with that position statement. COP agreeing to that position statement gives me the free mind that they are keeping allied in the international world because they will need friends to combat the mishap in Liberia. We will need international partnership.
Okay.
Now, they also recognize that the ambassador did not say do not protest. They say, well, do your protest on another day. Let's see what comes out of the pump and puppetry. My thing is, I will call on the Liberian people, like Costa said, do not be involved in the pump and puppetry. Let the president and his seditionists host all their parties.
But the money
and
not
let
for
the
them,
people, yeah, the money not for them. That's Liberian money. The thing is, the money they're taking to put into the party, that's money they could put into other things and make the country better. So why are we celebrating? Like the callers before me have asked, what are we celebrating? You got JFK that cannot cater to the needs of the people. You got hospitals around the country that are closing. You got businesses that are closing. You got people that are in need.
He has dedicated more than 5 markets around Mosorado.
But you see, that's what the people tell the man they want. The people, look, brother, I am sick.
So he wants
sometimes I get sick. Well, if you tell me if I'm happy for you giving me a zinc round when I deserve a concrete, when I'm happy for you giving me a bicycle when I deserve a motorbike, if I'm happy for you giving me a push and start when you're supposed to be giving me a kick and start, I'm telling you that I don't know what I want. I don't know what I need. Our people need to stop hailing the government for things that are not promotive. You build a market so that the people can go and pedal. But what is the business in the country that those people are doing that will really substantiate the economy, that really supports the economy? They're not importing anything, they're not exporting anything. Okay? The people who do the import and export are the Lebanese, the Chinese. This man for such a thing. I would say, okay, thank you for giving us a covered market. But this is not This is not going to put enough food on the table. It's not going to give us enough income. Okay? Thank you. I'm not going to dance around and shout around and jump over myself because you gave me a covered market. Those markets are insignificant contribution to people's lives. Right now they're yelling, they're praising him for the market. But tomorrow morning, you will see them in the same market complaining that the goods, they can't get goods, the goods too expensive. So what are you paying him for? Yeah. So my thing is, take that money that you got to have a party, to merry make, put it into something substantial. Put it into the school where the people can send their children to school free of charge. I'm talking about secondary and primary schools. I'm not talking about tertiary school, college, and I'm not talking about that. Put the money in secondary and primary and secondary schools. Let the people have quality education. Take the money, invest it into the hospitals so the people can get good healthcare system. The people are, listen, George Weah and the government is one problem. The people is the other problem. What do we Liberians need? The protest is postponed. Like, Mark, I'll tell you the truth. I differ with the strategy that COP is employing on this protest. I differ with it for many reasons and for many light. We will sit down out there and make a lot of noise. The government, George Weah and his people are not going to change anything. We can stay there. The question is, how long will we stay there before we get tired and leave? You know, Liberian men, when I bring sit down somewhere, the first thing that my man, they think, ain't give me no, I'm getting no income. My family stay hungry and this and that. Even though when they leave, their family stay in got the food, but they will leave and desert it. Okay? But I hold the concept that we can redirect and rechannel our focus, keeping the protest, but not centralizing the protest on one spot. Let's centralize the protest all around Liberia. How do we do that? I said, let's centralize the protest on the legislatures. Let's centralize the protest on the legislatures. Let the legislatures call the executive. Being that the legislature is the first group of government, let them call the executive and force the executive to implement the policies that will uplift the people's lives. So, if we in District 2 go to our representatives and our senators and compel them to take our petition to the floor, if every representative walk into plenary with a petition from his district,
my constituents,
you see, in with a petition from a district, and you come in with the same petition from your district, everybody coming in with petition from their district, we got something to talk about.
Yeah.
We got something to talk about. It doesn't become to do, it becomes them saying, hey, our district want us to do this. If we don't act, they're going to kick us out. So, executive, just sit down there. People will be forced. They will be forced to act for the people. Whether I'm a sedition or not, my district gave me a mandate. I bring that mandate to plenary, and that mandate is people, hey, my man, I come in, everybody coming in Monday morning or Thursday morning, everybody coming in from the district with a petition, because why? The people have met them in front of their houses. Before you, right in front of your house is where we gave you the petition. You on your way to work, yeah, our petition. When you come, you're 60 or sitting down right here. We're waiting for you. When you come, what happened to the petition? What was discussed? Address us before you go in. When you wake up in the morning, you meet us there. Different group, different time, but the group is consistent. So the pressure must be on the legislatures to hold the executive accountable. Other than that, we keep running to the executive keep dancing us around, the legislatures doing nothing about it, because they don't feed themselves burning. There is nothing heating the legislatures up. And it's the responsibility of the legislature to speak for the people. So my suggestion is let's redirect our strategy. Let's redirect. Let's leave the executive. Let's go to our representatives so that they can know that we can change them anytime we want to change them. They are accountable to us. Okay? They are the one who will go and tell the government this. They are the one who will tell, this is what we want. These are the people who we need to move. Because if the legislatures is independent and proactive, the thing the president doing, he will not do it. He won't do it. We're calling for the executive to carry an audit of Samuel Tuer and Patriot of the $25 million. My brother, the executive will be auditing themselves. That's absurd. Let the legislature call the executive and say to the executive, send us Nathaniel Patriot, send us Samuel Tuer to answer questions as it relates to the $25 million. When they get to the legislature, whatever they say becomes legally binding. You can persecute them if they give misleading information. You can persecute them for if they mislead. Plenary can send them to court.
Yeah, you can put in contempt. Yeah.
Yeah. So so why are we going to the executive and say, no, go to the legislature. We need you guys to summon these two people in the house to answer to our $25 million. We need you to bring this person in to answer to our $106 million that got missing. We need you. When the house is being proactive and is acting, my brother, trust me, the government, the executive will become a check and balance thing. But you got people in the house who do not care. Because why? They're there for the money. They're there for the salary.
Okay.
And the Liberian people don't see that. So let us redirect our strategy. Let us redirect our strategy.
I think I agree with you, Mason. You made salient points there. A lot of them, of course, especially with respect to the position of the COP. I think, like I was talking to one of the leaders yesterday, they need not to close the COP issue with 3, 4, 5 people. Let it not even just deal with, opposition political party, leaders. No, deal with the common people. Go with these people, go to them, meet them, discuss with them, hear from them, ask them questions, and give them time as well to ask you questions. Help them to advise you to run this thing. They think, it's like, I don't know how to say taking this COP to the whole issue of the COP to BO, but me, the way I see it, as far as my contribution to the Stop the War campaign here in the UK is concerned, look, it's a big thing that have started. And this could help this government hugely in terms of how to implement policies, in terms of checking and balancing. This organization could help the government hugely only if the guys that are also leading us are sincere, are actually prepared as well to say no matter what, we will continue to be there for the people. But if they change the step, it will discourage a lot of people. A lot of people are right now disenchanted. I mean, look at the number that came out on that day. That alone should tell you that indeed the people are not happy.
Yeah.
The people are not happy. Now, if you say, well, you know why? Since you are not happy and we know your problem or whatever, we want to help, that we can challenge the government so that the government can come back to the drawing table and move things further. Now, if you give them that hope and the people now decide to say, wow, okay, this is really good. Let's join these people. And time comes, you're trying to actually downplay them. My brother, Mason, I don't think we are going we are doing it the right way. I think They need to come back to the people and talk to the people, talk to the common people. Not even somebody like me. I can sit down right here and call them. I've been calling them one after another to give them pieces of advice as well. But that's not enough. Let them meet the people on the ground there. Those one, let them go to the woman in the market. The woman that sang that song, you know, the copper rice price was now like this, you know, Ellen Johnson said it time. Let them go there and engage them. Man, this thing would be doing a wire thing. And what's else? Get pieces of advice from these people and move forward, Missy.
Yeah, but and not only that, get pieces of advice for them, but take some people outside your leadership team to be the spokesman. Let the people see other people besides you. Yes. I mean, you the leader, you can stand by whoever you designate to present the statement, to read and present the statement. That person, maybe the person is selling dogafle, or there's a pen driver. Everybody in the community know he's a pen driver, but he read and present the statement. Look, we are here. We will support you. We are not backing down. But we want you guys to take the lead, take the lead and step up. We are not leaving you. We are standing by you. But let it not be us, because people think it is all about us. We want you guys to step up. Give people a chance to get known. Give people a chance to make the mark. I agree with my brother. If they continue the way they continue, we may really not yield any good results pretty soon.
This is why we have to create the platforms as well. I mean, these are certain points that you just laid out here. Any of them listening or watching right now, I mean, we have to borrow it and say, look, let me use of it also. This is a simple thing that gave our president, tough time. The president isn't listening to anybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't listen to people who actually he's supposed to listen to. He's listening to people that those are bringing him no ideas, no way forward. Those are the people he listens to. That what me, most of the times I engage his office, and I engage those that are actually misleading the president as well. And most of them now they block me on Facebook, but I don't care. I will keep saying the fact. The president isn't listening to those that he's supposed to listen to, but rather he's listening to people that are misdirecting him. And the COP2, I think, like you said, they need to come back on the drawing table. I think they need to rediscover themselves. Why are we here? They need to really ask themselves the questions. Why are we here? Why did we promise the Liberian people? Why is it that, things are not going the way they're supposed to be going or whatsoever? If they need to even revamp the whole leadership, let them revamp the leadership also. But like you said, all faces and whatsoever, but then, different ideologies deep down in the mind, sometimes it compromise things and whatsoever. People there with different agendas. So it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Especially in the context of African politics. It's so difficult. Very, very difficult. Anyway, thanks for your contribution. We highly appreciate it. Let me take some more calls again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Okay, that's Benson there. We're going to take a short musical, but I see Nancy Bala. I'm going to take Nancy. Nancy been commenting quite a lot here, and most of the points are quite salient. So let me take a few comments on the dashboard. Not only Nancy, but she drew my attention because she's really, really firing. Okay, let me see. Let me go quickly on the dashboard. Let me see. Jeba, I don't know, maybe we're not friends, that's why I can't get you. All right, let me see. C. Kofa Nelson say, did the ambassador trust herself into the local matter, or was she invited? Very, very good question there. Did the ambassador trust herself into the local matter, or was she invited? I remember just a couple of days ago, our ambassador, the UK ambassador here, UK ambassador to the United States, something happened, and some kind of communication leaked out. And in his communication, he actually, that was way back something, he actually said something about Donald Trump. So when this email leaked out, Donald Trump got furious about it. He got so angry. He got angry, and to the extent that he responded aggressively, abused the prime minister and abused the British ambassador to the USA. Thankfully, the prime minister, Theresa May, she issued a statement and said, "I'll stand by my ambassador. Whatever he said or so, he said it in his own purview. But as an ambassador to the USA, as far as the diplomatic service is concerned, stand by him." And but then what happened? There was a backlash here in the UK because there's a power struggle going on as well within a consecutive branch. But then, to call long matter short, the ambassador resigned. He said, in order to distract my government back home, I'm resigning as the ambassador, UK ambassador to the States. Just within that time, President Trump was leaving one state to another, and the journalists were asking him about the whole issue and the ambassador resigning, and he said, "Well, he should have kept his mouth shut out of our business." That's why the president of USA told the ambassador of the United Kingdom he should have kept his mouth shut. And I think anything about their leakage and whatsoever, he should stay read to their UK, not here. You see it? So when C. Kofa Nelson, aka Nogo 4, asking this question, did the ambassador thrust herself into the local matter, or was she invited? We have every right to throw it at all, to put the fire on her as well. This is what her bossman did just a few days ago to the ambassador here. And he was celebrating for the man resigning. Okay, let me go to Victoria. Thank you, my brother. You said it all, that they are to celebrate. When our people, okay, there's nothing to celebrate when our people are hungry and suffering. Joseph Faya says, so true, my brother. Jabba Telewayan, he says, this government already looking for trouble, and COP is the target. I believe that COP playing their games well, that Jabba Telewayan. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. Let me go down a little bit on the dashboard here and see your comment. You can call in. I got a phone number there, and you can call also via the video to be a part. Tomorrow here, tomorrow weekend, Saturday, special edition of the Max K Talk Show. We'll be having, we'll be playing host to a very special guest from all the way to Lagos, Nigeria. This lady, she's now an evangelist. She was one of very close confidant to TB Joshua. And the famous TB Joshua, okay, from the synagogue, the Church of All Nations. She left the synagogue. She wrote a book, and the book titled The TB Joshua That I Know. Tomorrow going to be fire. So you can follow us tomorrow. Let's continue down here. Weah is on the old road market. Let me go watch. Okay, watch it. Bye-bye. I hope you left already a long time. Our country should move with good and bad news. Why oppositions in our country are only concerned about bad news than the good news or the good ones? Is that the way to speak for the masses or to build a country? We are not thinking well around. The way we are going to treat this government is the same way others are going to treat ours. Let us not forget. Joyce B. Cover, the United States Embassy has nothing to do with our right to protest. On whatever day we choose to protest, for our rights. America only cares for what their interest is. They are not feeling the pinch of our suffering, and so Christine Elders should stop playing politics with our country. Thank you. That's Joyce. Joyce B. Kovacic is back. She say, I believe we should go ahead with our protest in order not to weaken the trust of Liberians. Let's go down a little bit. Let me see. Okay, Joyce is also firing here. She say, George Weah is an extravagant, okay, leaders, and we stop at nothing but to keep suffering the Liberian people. Okay, let's go down a little bit. Joyce Cover, I don't ever see the president dedicating hospitals and schools, but markets. Is that what he's going to do with our taxes? Nancy Bala, most of those marketers have kids selling in the street. Why are they in the market selling? No schooling. I agree with you. I'm in Monrovia, always driving around and see the kids, even some of them right between the cars or so, some of them bringing food to you to sell. Sometimes I can just shout at them. I say, you need to be in school right. Nancy Bala, dedicating medical supplies at JFK, who is there trained to operate them? That's the question, because that's why we heard this afternoon that the president is dedicating some medical equipment there. The COP need the support of the citizenry. That's Nancy Bala. Nancy Bala is back to say, look, there was time recently when the garbage issue was all over and the COP couldn't even get the 1,000 signatures of concerned citizens. Other concerns here. All right, we're trying to get we're trying to get somebody right now on the dashboard. But let's take a short musical break. We'll come back. I want to share with you the letter I wrote to the president and talk more about this. The reasons that I've decided. Okay, I think we're getting the sign now. We're gonna get the next guest very, very soon. So, very well. Okay. So, Bonda, how are you? Henry? All right. We just lost Henry there. Let's take a short musical break.
The people be with hello. We were telling them with the belly. The people be with hello. We were telling them with the belly. The people be with belly. We were telling them with the belly. The people just be with belly. We were telling them with the belly. Us today, local Liberia, some people you can see Liberia, Liberians suffering Liberians. We see it, we don't do it nothing. Liberians suffering Liberians. We see it, we don't do it nothing. Liberian people suffering Liberians today. We don't do it nothing. Liberians, what we went to, we tired with war, we tired with destruction, we tired with tribalism, people just special interest, we are tired. We are tired. Liberians suffering Liberians today. We see it. We are doing nothing. That rest in the last 7 people's life. At the end of the month, no salary. Security day and no rest is the last day of your life. At the end of the month, sometimes the simple you was coming from. And the simple I was thinking.
All right. Welcome back to the show. Indeed, you heard it. People in our hospitals, our doctors, our nurses, they're not taking pay. The police officers are in the street every day. Right now, it's raining season. They're there. Other security apparatus, when you travel outside of Mosorado County, you go into other counties. Especially when you have to travel a very, very far distance. You come across checkpoints, and every checkpoint you will meet Liberian, a citizen of the Republic of Liberia, a woman, a man, sitting at that checkpoint. They are there for the security of the very, very people that are in Mosorado County. They are there to make sure that indeed that we should sleep sound and nobody should intrude our country and come illegally in our city and cause mayhem. That nobody should cross our borders and bring trouble. These men and women, I saw them, I interacted with them in April. When I left Mosorado County and I went through Bong County, I went through Magibi and Bong, and I went through Lofa. And I crossed the border of Guinea. That's between Liberia and Guinea. From Foya side. I drove at midnight. I passed those checkpoints sometimes by 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I was meeting men and women, mothers and fathers. They were sitting there at that time. They were sitting there to see who is passing through. They were sitting there to ensure that indeed you yourself, you should be safe on your trip. These men and women are the same people that right now I am talking about. Some of them have gone through 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months. They haven't taken pay. No. The security of them, the security of all of us, those of us that are in Mosorado County, those of us that are in the country, our security lies in the hands of those people. We don't care for them. The authority don't care for them. Let me go on. Let me see what I can go to. Caller, good afternoon.
Hello?
Caller, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mike. This is Jiba Weah calling from Norway.
Oh, Jiba, thank you. Thank you for trying the order. Sorry, I think we are not friends on Facebook, and Facebook is quite funny when people are not friends. For you to bring them on, it can be so difficult. But thank you so much, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, let me just put in a little info there about the COP today. Look, Mike, let me tell you something. We are trying to share some blame on the COP. I understand that a lot of people are frustration today, but let me tell you something. The government of Liberia, look, if you listen to diehard citizens, one of them is Christy Musa. I don't know if you ever listened to that particular girl. When they say very, very diehard citizens, I listened to that little girl yesterday. I felt very, very terrible. That it just shows.
Brother, you two now join the president now. You now start calling people little.
It just showed to me that the government finished in our country. The government had already collapsed. What that little girl said, imagine. But you know, the government, they are looking for a little point to get on someone. And you know, the COP members are the target, as I said. They are the target. Don't you know the American embassy understand what's going on? If everybody had just decided that this protest will go on, I believe it was going to be a disaster. You see? So let me tell you something. People like Daniel Poster, people like Darren Bernard, these are wise people. These are people that understand situation. So we can't put a beam on them. We can't be downhearted. Look, the government has just collapsed. So they're just looking for a point. For me, I still say with the COP, anytime they schedule the protest, I'm going to support them. But for now, what they did, I think, is in the right direction. We should not get frustrated. We should not get angry with the mic. You see, I understand people.
Jeba, let me hold you there. Jeba, you made a very strong point. You used a very strong word there just now. The government has collapsed. You think so?
No, but the government has collapsed. So I mean the fact. The government has collapsed. Nothing good going on in our place. Look, I just looking for a point in our country. You see, just to bring a disaster in our country, and the COP members, because they have just provoking the government, they just looking. Look, you see the American forces over the Konami, that they wrote down letter for a purpose. A hero poster, the understood it well. You understand? I support them. I support what they do today, whether by postponing the protest up to the 31st. Even if another case comes in where we're going to postpone it to another day, I will support them. Because the broker are not stupid. The government has already finished. If you listen to President Musa, she was just in Nigeria. She just went to come to Ghana. Imagine.
No. You know why? I don't really want to use my platform for promoting anybody's image here. Okay, let's talk about this July 26th now. It's almost a couple of days from now, but what we're hearing is that because the government always is not like where you are, where I am. When government is about to spend money in the interest of the people, you will know. They will tell you the budget. Up to now, we don't know the project budget. We're just assuming, according to what we're hearing, that it's 1.5 million. In the midst of all of what we are going through, it's worth it?
I'm not cutting you off. I'm not cutting. I was just telling someone in Liberia. What are they having celebration for? The government did not build any fantastic project in the country where they are inviting people to come and honor that project. There's nothing in the country. People are suffering. What is celebration for? Who are you going to celebrate on? Who? Huh?
Well, that's it. All right, bro. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your points as well.
Okay, Mike, I'll continue to listen to you, but it's just frustrating in our country that this guy has turned our country to be a lasting stuff, that people are going to come and see the debt in our country, very filthy country, and dirty country. So thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you, brother. Okay, all the way there from Norway. Norwegian, when they're ready to tell their truth, they can tell you the truth. They can look at you in the face and tell you the truth. They don't hide. All right, let me read a letter to you just before I will go further. This is a letter I wrote to, open letter I wrote to the president. I wanted not to use it as an open letter. I wanted to send it to the president's office direct. But as usual, maybe during the days of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the email address they still have on the executive mansion website. It's not working. There's no way journalists can even get in touch with the office. All right. I need to go on the line again. Let's see. Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Thank you. Name and from where you call?
Yes, my name is Henrik MacActor, and I'm from North Dakota.
Henrik, I know it's morning to you there. It's afternoon here. Thank you. Yes, it should be afternoon there. Thank you so much for calling in. What are your concerns? Actually, what we have on the plate today, what I have on the plate is about the 26th celebration, and also the position statement offered by the ambassador of the USA as well. But if you have any other thing on your mind, on your chest that you want to actually take out, you are most welcome. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Like I said, I'm calling you from the States. And I want to really use this time to extend my thanks and appreciation to you for the level of information given to our people. Mm-hmm. I am a Liberian, and I was fortunate to have lived in Switzerland for a good amount of years, but I'm a Liberian. And I always like to be informed about my country. I've been out of there for like 38 years.
Wow.
But I try my best to follow whatever that is going on in Liberia and listening to people like you and other people that can actually help me to understand what's going on. And I read a lot. For me, with the issue of the celebration, I want to agree with you that there are problems in Liberia, ranging from the medical, just all of the problems you can think about that human, face in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these problems is not even going to go away if we have another president. If the current leadership that is there, if they transition to another leadership, I don't think whatever leadership that's going to come is going to solve all of the problem. But I think everyone can chip into the problem and try to solve a portion of it. And this is why the United States of America is one of the great countries on the planet Earth, because almost all of the leaders that comes in, they do just what they can do and leave the rest for whoever. And that's how it goes on. But unfortunately, like Liberia, my own home, I'm sorry, maybe others may say I'm not a Liberian, but I'm a Liberian.
You are.
But Liberia, from my home, it has been like that for a very long time. People just come, leaders come on board. They do just whatever they can do and leave the country as it is. But with the issue of the 26th celebration for me, I think there is a need, to some extent for us to celebrate the 26th.
Okay.
The reason for which I'm saying it is that, I've not really followed in depth what is happening, but from what I've, been reading so far, I think the 26th has to do with the birth anniversary of a nation. It might not necessarily take into consideration or, the achievement of the nation. But I believe that as Liberian, even though I've been away from my country for a very long time, and it's not my fault, that I think we have all tried our best, like what you're doing now. Some few years ago, we could not hear Liberians, on the earth, on social media, like you, giving out information about what is happening in Liberia. Mm-hmm. We couldn't even hear that. But now today we have you and others who are informing us about what is happening in Liberia. So I think these are all positive steps. These are all steps towards, development, because before we can have development, we must learn how to talk. We must learn how to verge our differences and speak true to government. So I believe that there are challenges. Oh yes, there are challenges. Even here in the United States, like I told you, I've stayed in Switzerland for a good amount of years, and I've just transitioned to the United States. And I'm planning to go back home, even though I know it's challenging. But I think I must go back home and contribute my quota to my country. But what I would say is that we have cheered each other apart for a very long time, And I think we all need to come together as Liberians and put our ideas together and see how best we can move our nation forward. Again, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. You are doing a great work, and I think this is one of the reasons for which we as Liberians should at least celebrate, because in past time, it was only so say one, so say all. Mm-hmm. But now, you're speaking out. I am speaking out. You have given me the opportunity to talk on your platform. Okay. Even though I may not know much about Liberia, but you've given me the opportunity. Okay. So I think we just need to put the politics aside, celebrate, and see how best we can move our country forward.
All right, just before you go, let me get your first name again. Caller, are you there? Hello? Caller, are you there? Oh, okay. He just left. I wanted to commend him. He spoke quite brilliantly. Very salient there. It doesn't matter how long you've been away. Let me be very frank with you, my brother. It doesn't matter. Yeah, 38 years being away. You left because of circumstances, and those circumstances under which you left your country. there were circumstances that others said things were not right. And so they came to make them right, according to them. But instead of them making things right, the position the government was, or the country was at the time, which perhaps for many, many of us who came and heard the words, "I born here, I stay here, I die here," they were trampled down, were dislodged, and then they made it worse for us. So my brother, you are 100% a Liberian, 150% a Liberian, and nothing should hold you back from going to see your country whenever you're ready. Nothing. Yes, opportunities seem similar. Circumstances led me to be in a great country as well since 2001. I thank God that from 2010, every year I will be home in Liberia at least twice, not just visiting for vacation or on a humanitarian gesture. You see, this is why when I see injustices going on, it hurts me. When I hear about $16 billion getting missing, it pains me. When I hear about the misappropriation of 25 million USD, it makes me sick. Because when I go to Liberia, I don't go to these top restaurants to go eat. I go back in the borough, I go back to the Kobo shop. When I go to Liberia, I go back and engage with those that they refer to today as Zokos. Yesterday they used to be Ghana boys, Ghana girls. Because I want to know what is going on. When I go back home, I go to hospitals and visit and talk with nurses and talk with doctors and visit wards. When I go home, I go to orphanage homes. I want to see why are the kids there. I want to talk to the kids themselves. And this is why now I feel so hurt that our resources, what we depend on as a nation, or what we're supposed to be living on, what every child is supposed to benefit from, is no longer benefiting from it. Few people, up to now, few people. So I feel hurt. And I'm very hurt at this moment. I'm very, very angry at this moment. I'm hearing that our president, the budget this year, our president and his budget this year for July 26 is 1.5 million. Come and clear the airway. But that's what I heard. And that's what I will talk about. That's exact money I will make mention of. It hurt me, Mr. President. When you have 5-6 months, your civil servants are going to bear hungry. Their children are right now. Registration is starting in a few weeks from now. Majority of them will not even be able to send their children back to school. Yes, we own the economic hardship in the land. The schools have decided to even raise their tuition fees, and what kind of fees they have there has gone up. The president hasn't come to the rescue. The government hasn't come to talk about it. The Ministry of Education, they've got nothing to say because there's no subsidy. When you have something, a threat like this, that many children in the next academic year, in the next school year, that many of them will be out of school, and you say you want to spend $1.5 million to merry-make, I have a problem with it. That when you want to invite presidents, heads of state from other countries to come and live in 5-star and sleep in 5-star hotels, and to eat a bowl of rice that will cost $300-$400, and then we end up picking the bills
for them and we pay for it. When you doing that and your people are going through this, that's not fair. It's not fair. And I'm not going to sit here to say it's worth celebrating it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. On national days like that, you know why? That's why we have Armed Forces Day. What happened the last time? We show what we have in the army. Only what we have in the army. How many men and women we have. The equipment we have and everything. On Independence Day, you come and call the people. When your people are enjoying the benefit, the fruit that they labor for, which is the natural resources, when it's making an impact in the community, in various homes, and you are accomplishing projects upon projects, you can call people to come and celebrate with you, and you can boastfully stand on the platform there and begin to name those progress, those areas, those projects. This is where we met the government. This is where we met the government when we took over. The blueprint that we put together, this is it right now. This is part of it. We're showing you. We are right here now. In the next couple of years, this is where we want to be. Yes, that's celebration. But what? When we came, we met at least the least civil servant were making $100 US. But we fought it hard. We increased it to $150. That's what we did. And the pay is on time. Our nurses, they were making $200 US a month. When we came, right after that, we took over, we added at least $75 on it. They are now making $275. Yes, that is progress. That is a great way to celebrate July 26th. When we took over, our teachers, majority of them were making $150. Our police, when we came, some of them were making $75. But when we took over, police are now making $300. Yes, teachers are now making at least $285. We can clap hands for that. But I'm waiting for that day, since the president is saying that he's still going to go ahead to celebrate, to call his friends to come and merry-make, to call his former football players to come and play football again. I want to hear on that day the progress report. Salaries have increased. Salaries are on time. Benefits are paid. Everyone that's been living on pension, their pension, in fact, we have increased their pensions as well. Schools, everything is okay. Parents are no longer going to struggle to send their children to school. In fact, from kindergarten all the way to about 6th grade, it's free of charge. That's what we call progress report. That's what you celebrate. That's what you call people to merriment, to merry-make. And some of them that you're calling as leaders of other countries, when they sitting there and they are not doing something like what you're doing, they go with that shame face, with that encouragement. That sometimes when they get back home, their people will also begin to ask them questions. You hear from Mr. George Weah, right? You see how the civil servants are living better life in Liberia? Oh, you see how the police are enjoying the services there? You see how the joint security, those guys are mining the borders. You see how their salaries are up and the logistics are up to date? But when I travel out of Liberia, out of Montserrat, and I cross the border of Guinea, let's say the border to Guinea, in Gigidu. When I was coming back, I decided to engage every checkpoint that I met. And I decided to engage the joint security there. I just wanted to learn. I wanted to know what is going on. How are they? Are we looking after them? I heard stories, man. These men and women, they have children, they have family. They are there every hour, and then in the night, in the middle of the night, at early morning hours, they are there. They have no logistics. Yeah. Their little thing they're supposed to have every month is not coming on time. And when you reach your every checkpoint and somebody telling you, put the gate down. I mean, imagine the immigration officer or so who's sitting by the checkpoint there is telling the driver, put the gate down. The driver is in at the gate. The driver is behind the wheels. But when the immigration officer in Liberia tells you, you the driver, put the gate down. You have to get down, first of all, check in your pocket, walk to them, and shake hands with them. And I remember on many occasions, my driver, he would give them $50, and sometimes they would refuse. They say, it's too small. And for me as a humanitarian, sometimes I look at it and say, well, how many cars are passing here every day? Please, man, give them $100. Please give them $150. These people gotta eat. Everything they make there that night, they have to share among themselves. Because nothing coming through. So from one checkpoint to another, that's how life is. You get in the city of Monrovia, it's even worse. Police officers are not paid. Let me go to the hospitals, because at least I can visit hospitals and I know what is happening there. Right now I can describe to you the position of the Redemption Hospital, the JFK. I brought this phone from Liberia. Here is a torchlight. And I'm telling you, this is what they use at night, the nurses and doctors, if they are on call or they are there working. They use this light here, this torchlight, to see and administer treatment to a patient. It doesn't matter how sick they are. It doesn't matter how complicated that treatment will be. They hold these torchlights and begin to push it around, telling somebody, you pointed this way, pointed that way. Come on, man. Come on. And somebody telling me that we should spend $1.5 million to merry-make. What we have to celebrate? Come on, man, my people. You wake up. This is not about partisan or partisanship. It is not about CDC, or it's not about opposition or so. It is about Liberia. Y'all got to think. Some of y'all have to wake up to the reality of what is happening in Liberia. And for those of you in Liberia that stayed up to now, you haven't come to your senses. You need to wake up to the reality. Some of you need to wake up and just go visit these places. Go and engage with the nurses. Go and see. Just take your own time and go visit. It doesn't mean that you have to have a relative in the hospital before you go visit. Go and see for yourself what is happening at Redemption Hospital. Go to JFK. There are some wards that you don't even enter. I'm angry because of that. Put the kid down. Abu, every checkpoint from Mount Barclay, the moment I left the city, from Mount Barclay, all the way to Lofa border, through Foya, they were asking us to put the gate down. Meaning, driver, get down with small thing in your pocket, at least $100 or $150, and give it to them, $11 and give it to them. That's what they mean by put the gate down. So if you don't know, that's the meaning there. From Mount Barclay all the way through to the Lofa border. That's the language I was hearing. But I feel sorry for them. You think if we were paying these guys on time, even if at least they are making $200-300 a month, and they were getting their $200-300 every month, and they have the logistics they need to work for us, you think they will be, bringing themselves down like that every day? The begging drivers, put the gate down, or they will be compromising? How will anybody come all the way to Mount Barclay and knock drug dealers down? And they say, oh, they caught people with drugs at Mount Barclay. How come they travel from all the way from the border to reach over there? Somebody have to compromise. That's what I'm saying. They put the gate down issue is a disgrace to our officers. And I feel for them as well. They don't have to do it, but they have to do it. Or they don't have to do it, but they did. And for me, I see no reason. And I will keep saying it. You can come and come at me also. I don't care. But I will say it as I see it. There's no reason to celebrate. For those of you that are saying that yeah, president should go ahead to celebrate, you haven't been to Liberia. Or when you go to Liberia, you don't mingle out. You don't go to the people that you're supposed to go to. When you go to Liberia next time, please go to orphanages and talk to children there. Go to the hospitals and talk to nurses. Go speak to doctors. Go and visit wars. The thing I'm telling you right here, for some of you that are in Liberia right now, that July 26th, just wake up that day, you say, look, today I'm going to make it a date. Let me go and visit this hospital. Go to just one hospital. When you go and interact with the doctors that are there, with the nurses that are there, when you interact with the patients that are there, what patients will be telling you, or what relatives will be telling you about that patient, that they were giving you a piece of paper to go and buy some kind of medication to come and administer, you won't believe it. Or when you go there evening time, and those that are on night shift, and you ask them, how is the working condition here at night? And they begin to show you these, a phone like this with a torchlight, that this is what we use at night to administer any medication. Then you will have the sense. Reasons why some of us are saying that, Lord, there's no need to waste $1.5 million. That's a huge amount of money. Right now, we're having students in Morocco. They are stranded. I'm speaking to last night I was speaking to some of them. Some of them are children, 16, 17 years old. Some of them, they are first time just leaving the country. All alone, they were in Mosurado County or so. They never even went to Kakata or Banga. First time they found themselves in a foreign land. They are right now in Morocco. The children are stranded, no money. We turned our back on them. I can say we because it's a government. We send them there. We are responsible for their lodging. We are responsible for their fees. We are responsible for whatever they need over there. But we thrown them away. Those children are there suffering right now. Next week I will be speaking to them on my platform here. We can't do this, man. That $1.5 million right now, Mr. President, I can't lie to you. As an advisor to you, I said you play stubborn. I will tell you no, Mr. President. Let's redirect that money. Since the money is available, let's redirect it. At this hospital right now, the generator is down. At that clinic is running day and night. They don't have LEC. They don't have generator to work on. Let's redirect the money. $1.5 million. That's good money. Let's see whether we can put it into rehabilitation. To take the guys that we put in the street, those guys that we gave guns to yesterday, those boys and girls that who are now men and women, we gave guns to yesterday. Today we refer to them as Zokos. Let's put this $1.5 million into a project that we can rehabilitate all of them, give them a second chance in life. Let's do that, Mr. President. Yes. If I was in that position as your advisor, these are some of the things I will be telling you. Mr. President, there's nothing to celebrate. $1.5 million to merry-make is a waste. So please, Mr. President, what's about the teachers? Okay, let's subsidize the schools then. The school fees are going up. And many children might not go to school this year because their parents won't have money to send them to school. The school fees are high. There are all the fees to pay. So the $1.5 million, let's put it into education. Let's subsidize the school. And see how many people how many of the mothers and fathers that will not even love you more, but to go across West Africa and invite the leaders that many of us will not even get close to, places that you people will go and have your food. We are not going to go close there. We are not. So what is the essence of the celebration? Why you and your leaders, African leaders, are way at the top there celebrating? We are hungry under here. The rain is beating us. There's no food. My children and grandchildren are going to bed hungry. But yet then the $1.5 million belongs to all of us. Mr. President, you got to listen to us. Listen to your people. You got to listen to your people. The voice of the people is the voice of God. And we are speaking. Don't mind those that are telling you that everything is okay. Yes. Yourself, you are not connected anymore with us. You go, you dedicate a road, you move. That's it. You go to the market and you dedicate the market, you're gone. You're no longer connecting with us. You're no longer down here with us. You're gone far away. And so you don't get to know what is actually happening with us. You no longer engage with us. So you don't know whether we are hungry. You don't even know when our children are going to school. But yet and still others are telling you that everything is okay. Don't worry. Mr. President, everything isn't okay. And this is why for me I will continue to say it until that day can come, or shall come the 26th. And what I said the last time, that's when I will say it again. Mr. President, there's no need for a celebration. You can have a dead body in your house and you call people to go to the nightclub to disco dance. They will call you names. Many of us, they continue to tell us that we hate you. If I hate you, I won't talk. Those that are refusing to talk, they hate you. Or those that are telling you that everything is okay, they hate you. They don't like you. That's why. When you go from one country to another, and the leaders there are welcoming you with football jerseys, they welcoming you with football, it's in a good welcoming. It isn't. Just a couple of days ago, I was talking to my professor here. When you're asking me how is your country and how is George Weah, the footballer, I said, yeah, things are tough. Things are not easy. And then he started reminding me, the British guy started reminding me about how my president been going around in every country. He goes to, they always welcome him with a football or just. And you say, Max, that's not a good sign. These leaders are actually telling your president that they follow him quite a lot and they know about his leadership and they're trying to tell him it's not for him. That's not his area. That's why by the time he reached to a country, they put a football on the football field. And somebody offering him over Jesse. He said that's not a celebration. They are not celebrating him. They are telling him intelligently that that's not his area. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. And the last time when those stories came out, people started going around and what's what his name? Donald Trump is a brilliant golf player. Except he leaves the United Kingdom and come to Scotland to play. When you go to Israel, they don't give him golf. They don't take him. The Israeli Prime Minister don't take him on the golf course. No. France, United Kingdom, anywhere. The last time he went to North South Korea also. We didn't invite him on the golf course. Mana Bill, somebody told me he plays volleyball very, very well. And again, he was once a military commander. But it's only the last time when he went to Saudi Arabia to address a podium there. And they asked him about transition. That's the only time he was talking. He even talked about during the days, the military days and whatsoever, and how he has transitioned. For every nation Manda Bio has visited, they never ever welcome him with a volleyball or an AK-47 or a military suit or a military cap. No. They welcome him as a president because they are seeing what he's doing there. He's making a huge, huge contribution. This is why you see countries are going there, signing contracts, concession agreements. Investment is going on there. This doesn't work like this. And we, as children of Liberia, have to be serious about this. And we have to be honest and be truthful in whatever we say. And I keep saying it here, even if it was my uncle that in power right now, he will be having a problem with me. And so that's it. You're not trying to say celebration. You can have, dozens of students in China, they're suffering there. And you say, well, you know why? These are not my children. I don't care. Let me spend $1.5 million and merry-make. You have students, you have children, you have grandchildren right here in Morocco. When I go into 7 to 8, 9 months, we've forgotten about them. We don't care whether they are even alive. And we are going to spend or waste $1.5 million to celebrate what? I'm waiting for that day. But you see, this is it. When people pretend for who they are, and you get to know truly who they are, and you know they are far opposite, that can hurt. It can hurt. I see no reason, Mr. President, I will continue to say it. I see no reason that we should waste $1.5 million. Even 1,000 that I mentioned in my letter. I want to read that letter before I end the show. Even $1,000 to say, let's spend it now and waste it. Go buy bears, go buy, juices and things. Let's merry-make. Let's sit under there while we're suffering. There's somebody, a child is struggling to get a live birth at the hospital there. Because somebody said there is no drip. Because somebody is saying that there's no specialist for this treatment. Or there's no special equipment to treat this particular sickness or so. But 1.5 million. $25 million. That's small money, man. Let me share with you the letter before I end the show. The letter for some of you want to follow up is already been published in a couple of newspapers online, including the Bush Chicken, the Observer Online, Front Page Africa. They printed this letter. They already published this letter because I try hard to send a letter direct to the president. Unfortunately, the email address, I will keep saying it, the email address on the Executive Mansion website is a fake one. Let me use the word fake today. That email address is a fake one. Send any communication there, it won't go. I can sit down right here in the UK and write the Prime Minister of any country, it will go. I can sit down right here and go from one step to another and write to any sitting member of legislature in the United States, it will go. I can sit here and track the email address of President Donald Trump and write in the letter, it will go. But not Liberia. Secrecy. Let me read a letter to you. And the letter has been published just for some of you. On the same issue about this July 26th. His Excellency Dr. George M. Weah, our President of the Republic of Liberia, 14 July 2019. That's when I wrote the letter. Open letter to President George M. Weah. Dear Mr. President, I present compliments of my highest esteem to you and your family, including members of your cabinet. As a concerned citizen and an advocate for social justice, I am hugely constrained writing you this letter. Your Excellency, a few weeks ago, I learned that you are planning a huge celebration for our Independence Day on 26 July. My understanding also is that such celebration is to be sponsored by the state, meaning that every penny that will be spent will come from the national cover. Mr. President, permit me to kindly appeal to you in the name of God to see reason and have the celebration cancelled. Your Excellency, under the current climate in the country, especially the economic hardship which is even leaving our healthcare centers vulnerable, I want to plead with you to abandon any form of celebration that we as a nation will spend more than US $1,000. There are so many hospitals right now in our country that lacks the basics, including medication to treat an emergency patient, let alone to talk about a life-threatening sickness. Whatever budget that has been raised for such celebration could be diverted to assist few hospitals across the country instead of us using it for merrymaking. Mr. President, as a reminder, one of your colleagues, President John Magufuli, upon taking office as leader of Tanzania, he cancelled such celebrations, stating that his country was facing huge challenges, including financial difficulties, stressing further that it is better to save such amount and put it in the system for the improvement of lives than to waste it on merrymaking for the few. Agree or disagree with me? Agree with me or not, Mr. President? Our current financial situations are challenging, and you, as our leader, will have to take that precious time to accept and admit that indeed our country is struggling. This means that you are the only person that can lead us out of it. Yours sincerely. That's me. So that's the letter I wrote, open letter. The letter is already printed. It's already been published by a few newspapers in Liberia, both online and in hard copies in Liberia as well. I'm not going to sit here to just talk. I will engage. I will continue to engage the government in a way that it's possible to engage with this government. This is wrong. This is wrong. We're going to take a short musical break. When I come back, I'll read some of your comments. I'll read some of your comments, and then from there, probably we'll call it a day so that we can come back tomorrow.
Together we can move on. Yes, man, one just you know that we can hold on. Of course, move on is not to move on. There is no development that we can boast of. And killing your fellow man, jam for reaches. Yeah.
All right, the people think we belly, right? That's the one there. The people think we belly, but we tell them we're not belly. Let me just let's see what you have there already on the dashboard, so I can also appreciate your contribution on the show here. Let's go straight up there. Nancy Bala, she says here, if our Liberian brothers and sisters are really suffering, it doesn't have to take the COPs to rally them to get out to protest. COP can only do so much. We know as parents, when our kids are unhappy in the home, what happens? Trouble will come. That's true. Nancy Bala said, Max, did you do a surgery? Oh yeah, sorry. I'm sitting on right now. Yes, I did. Because I just did. Oh, sorry, ma. I wish you speedy recovery as well. Thank you for your concern. Nancy Bala said, I don't wish anyone the misery after rotator cuff surgery. I read you too. Thank you. What are you saying there about immigration office? Oh, okay. I think I addressed that. I said, put the gate down, put the gate down. Yeah. When I was addressing the issue, I think that's the time Nancy contributed and said that alone is security threat to the country. That's true, because these guys are vulnerable there. You know, you get to every checkpoint, they're begging you for $50 or, you know, put the kid down, put the kid down. Abu Ture. No, it shouldn't be that way. Wow. Unfortunate. Yeah, Abu, that was happening. I experienced that. But I mean, I was feeling sorry for them. So at the end of the day, you know, my late cousin was driving, you know, get somewhere, and he want to ask Tinties out. He have the money. You don't want to give it to people. You go and give $50, and some of them will say, no, my man, the money's small. We 4 year, we 5 year. You know, I say, oh, my man, don't do that, man. At least, you know, that $50 additional $100 on it. People are too much. I said, no. Anyway, let's go. Nancy Bala, I'm a witness to what you are saying. I've experienced it over the years. It's on another level. Thank you. John Seeley Segbe II. So sad. Foreign students are stranded in Morocco. Yet our government is organizing a merit party. Now you hear this? But this is a similar thing we're talking. Children, not even adults, children. The majority of them are girls, little girls. I mean, sorry to say little girls, but majority of them, I mean, 17, 18, I mean, look, come on, man. You can go and dash children like that in a foreign land, and you forget about them. They don't have nowhere to sleep. But the story I was hearing, I mean, this is a story from the houses on mouth. Some of them might not even go to school this the coming school year. The same thing happened to me and to us. I was in a group of 10 young people. So we should go to, we had this scholarship to Cuba. We left the country, went to Cuba. That was it. All the doors were closed behind us. Nobody to talk to. Well, Lawrence is the promise of every month. Nothing was coming for. It got to the point that we have to sell our clothes. And all of us that went there, some of us, majority of us were there for 5 years each to study, finish, and go back home. In Cuba, in a foreign land. 1 year to do Spanish course, to learn the Spanish and speak it well, and then start your course the following year. They abandoned us. Nobody cares. While other students were there from other African countries. I mean, the guys, the boys, the girls, when they cooking, I mean, smelling nice. We in the dormitory together, people living good life. But we were selling our jeans, our clothes to them so that we can have toothpaste. We can buy toothpaste. We can buy something to eat, bread also. All of the other African countries, representation that were there, the students that were there, were living good life because why? Their government was sending their money on time. Yeah. I even met some of them that they couldn't even use all their money that month, when the other money will come. And we have students right now stranded. Right here in Africa, Morocco. You know how much money we spent The government can spend every time the president use the private jet to travel. Or you know how much money we're spending every month for where that airplane is parked, that jet. And we say we want this country to be better. This country can't be better unless we invest in people. You go to all African countries now, they are talking about empowering children. They are trying to put computers in elementary schools. And yet we stay here. People interested in stealing from us. The same people that promised us, that say they are coming to give us life. They're coming to give us change. They're coming to give us hope. They're coming to give us life. They're coming to improve everything for us. And the same people turning around and stealing from us. Majority of these students that are there, I bet, I don't know any of them, but I bet majority of them are from poor background. And their parents will not even be able to send them money from Liberia. But when the government said they were sending them out to go and study, they were very, very happy. They were very happy. They celebrated, the parents celebrated. They celebrated. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, government. Thank you for accepting my child on this scholarship. Yes, they didn't have the opportunity for tomorrow. These children are now dashed over there. Nobody have time for them. Nobody have time for them. Nobody's talking about them. The newspaper will talk. The newspaper will publish it. We will sit down on radio station and talk about it. But our leaders are supposed to take that's supposed to be in front of those that's supposed to deal with the issue are not dealing with the issue. They're not even listening. $1.5 million. Just take $5 million and say, okay, they want for all the let this amount go to our students that are abroad. We owe them 4 or 5 months each. Mr. Education Minister, please see into it that the children receive their money. This is their July 26th. Pay them off. Give them those 5, 6, 7 months or 9 months you owe them for their 26, so that they can pay their rent. Some of them right now are living on their friends' sofas or so. Those that they met there. How can we invest in people when we don't care, when we don't even value the importance of education? It doesn't work like that. And I will continue to say, Mr. President, for me, July 26th celebration this year is not in my name. Not in my name. Okay, let me go back to the dashboard. Abu. Okay, I read that. Okay. Okay, let's go back to John Singbi. This second, the president has to set his priorities. During the August 24 celebration, you announced that your government will award scholarship to the 7 most brilliant students that performed in the YX exam. Today, these students, along with other Liberian students, are stranded in Morocco. Let me read this. Are stranded in Morocco. They have stayed 9 months without receiving monthly allowances because the government has said that they have no money. On the contrary, you are preparing to celebrate the independence. How does this become a holistic celebration of all Liberians when students are stranded in Morocco? Please consider your priorities, Mr. President. This is an appeal to you, Mr. President. And Mr. President, this is an appeal to you, and I want to add a voice on this again. These children, they have no relative in that country. The same way I had no relative in Cuba. I had no relative in Cuba. All of us that went there, the 10 of us are young people that went to Cuba that night. Then we had no relative there, no connection. We didn't know anything about the country. And the same way with these are our brothers and sisters. Young graduates, somebody graduating from high school. 17, 18 years old. go and dash them in that kind of country, French-speaking country. Morocco is French-speaking. There are a whole lot of issues there as well. Because so long you can speak the language, even to go in somebody's kobo shop to go and wash dishes, to get paid, it's difficult because you need to communicate with the people. So these students, when they are stranded, they are completely stranded. When they are broke, they are broke. When they are hungry, they are completely hungry. When they can't pay rent, they will kick them out. I think it's not even like how our scholarship was like in Cuba. In Cuba, our scholarship was included. What the only thing the government, not even the government, it was the MPP government, MPP party. The only thing they were responsible for was to send our allowances. The Cuban authority were responsible for our lodging place. They were responsible to give us food. But then their general food wasn't good. Yeah. Most of our African, all African students that we met there, they never even used to go there, especially those that their allowances used to go on time. They never had time for that food because the food wasn't well prepared. We couldn't work because we can't speak Spanish. You can't do any job. They're the same plight that our children are facing right now in Morocco. Those are in China. The last time I spoke to a few of them, the same thing. If you can't speak the language, how can you even maneuver in the society? So this is a complete injustice to this wonderful people that we send abroad there. Investing in people is so vital. That's why you see other nations, they've moved far ahead. When we see the Chinese everywhere, every nation they are there, they say in school, in universities or so. Some of them, their own parents, they send them. Some of them gone there by their government support. Invest in people. We should waste $1.5 million to invite somebody, a president that is making a huge difference in his country, Manda Bill, without any condemnation for his coming, but to invite him to come and say, come and enjoy, come, let's pomp and pageantry together here. He's coming to laugh at us. Because his country now, even just recently, United Kingdom, my tax money went there. Good money to help his government. Governments across the world are going there signing contract. They invited him almost, interested in investing in his country. So when he is having the National Day celebration, these are places or these are things that he made mention of. When we took over, the only employment rate was this. But after 1 year or so, this is where we are now. So the number of those that are in work right now is quite encouraging. But what are we going to show when Manda Bill is in town? What are we going to show when President Conte is in town? I'm not even sure, because somebody was telling me yesterday, I'm not even sure what his name Buhari is coming. My understanding, I'm not going to share that other news, okay? But I'm not sure Buhari is coming. He's not. I know Senegalese president. Barrow is not coming of the Gambia. But I know definitely Manda Bill is coming of Sierra Leone. Coming. Celebration from maybe from the president's house to the executive mansion or wherever. Closed door. So celebration only for the people that are on top there. Mr. President, his cabinet ministers, and the foreign people. So even the $1.5 million, which belongs to all of us, it's not all of us that are eating that money. It's not. No. Not all of us. Mr. President, with all due respect, please, Mr. President, see reasons and have this celebration cancelled. Until then, for me, it's not in my name. There's no July 26th this year. Think about those hospitals. Think about those hospitals that right now, they only there because they don't want to shut the doors. What is behind those words are challenging for even those guys that refer to themselves as healthcare practitioners. There are huge challenges. Some of them will even shed tears. They want to put their skills into use. What they need to work with is in there. I speak with some of them sometimes. The guy was telling me the other day, Max, for every time I see a patient being brought to the hospital, and I turn around and I gave a slip, a prescription slip to the parents, the family member, to say, go and buy this medication. So I feel guilty. I don't even know if they can afford the money. But because the medication is not there, there's no other alternative. I only have to issue them the paper. That's the directive I've been given. And so when I hand over the paper to them, and some of them, they're standing there speechless. They don't even know what to do. They don't even know what to start. And they only hear the words, go and get that medication. When you come with, administer it to your relative. The people at the top, they are not hearing anything. Mr. President isn't hearing it. Mr. President isn't seeing it. And this is why I am saying, I am requesting, I am calling on you, Mr. President, on July 26th, forget this celebration, go around from one hospital to another. Even if there are 3 counties that day, in nearby counties, those counties that are so close to Maserati County, that you can take 45 minutes and just go, you can take 1 hour and just reach there and come back. Mr. President, go and visit those big hospitals that are there. Go to Bombay, go to Magibi. You can even reach to as far as Banga. Go around Maserati County. See for yourself. I'm told you are an humanitarian, or you are a humanitarian. Please, Mr. President, let me challenge you on that. July 26th. Don't play football that day. Do not invite Drogba and the rest of the guys to come and play football. Because that happened last year during the flood. During the flooding that took place around Maserati and outside of Maserati, the citizens were struggling and stranded. Our president organized a football match at BTC. Drogba was in town. I couldn't believe it. This time around, please, Mr. President, I think enough is enough. Accept that your people are suffering. The country is in a mess. You need to know. But you need to go there to know.
It's up for me. I'm feeling it.
Oh God. All right, I just touched the wrong button here. I want to say, let me say a big thank you to all of you that we've been here together this this afternoon. It's an appreciation. Tomorrow on a special edition of the Max K Talk Show, I will be playing host to Sister Bisola. She's Evangelist Bisola from all the way there in Nigeria. She's one of those who actually broke away from TB Joshua, and she left the church because of what she terms as a demonic, very demonic organization. Tomorrow she'll be here at 2 o'clock on the special edition of the Max K Talk Show. We'll hear a whole lot from her tomorrow. Revelations upon revelations. She was a close confidant to, almost a special assistant to TB Joshua. And so tomorrow she will be here and we'll be talking about it.
Liberians suffering, Liberians. We see it, we don't do it, nothing. Liberians suffering, Liberians. We see it, we don't do it, nothing. Liberian people suffering, Liberians today. We see it, we don't do it, nothing. Liberians, what we will do? We tired with war, we tired with destruction. We tired with tribalism, but this is better.
All right, on tape tomorrow. Of course, I invite you to join me tomorrow on a special edition of the Max K Talk Show for a great discussion here. A huge revelation from our sister and evangelist Bisola, all the way there from Nigeria. Very explosive, I think, going to be. But for this edition of the Max K special presentation, I want to say thank you so much for being there. Thanks for your contribution as well. Because without your contribution, I won't be here as well. I want to wish you a pleasant Friday night. Have a pleasant good night. For those of you already in on Saturday, I can say I want to wish you and the rest of you a happy weekend. From my end, I say thank you so much. Thanks for your contribution. Nancy, I appreciate you so much. One of those are actually hugely contributed today. And God bless you. May God bless the continent of Africa. Above all else, may God bless Mama Liberia. Bye bye.
They're coming again, they're coming of food.